Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Right, let's take a look at what happened in the Champions League games this week, because Jesus Christ, there was drama. So Spurs are 2 games against Ajax away from a Champions League final. I'm sorry, what? Back in my day, Man City were stuck in a relegation battle every other year, relying on Joey Barton to stay out of jail long enough to score them a couple of goals. The Spurs, on the other hand, were signing the likes of Leon Pio, Andy Reid, and chucking 20 million at Darren Bent, seeing their Champions League hopes flushed down a goddamn toilet, peppered with chunks of dodgy lasagna. How are they now favourites to make a Champions League final? It was only a few years ago they were getting dragged out of 4th by Chelsea winning in Munich, and having to sell Gareth Bale because, let's face it, winning a Champions League with Clint Dempsey up front is not happening. But Jesus Christ, what a game. Trailing 1-0 from the first leg, City went 1-0 up after 4 minutes. Within 6 minutes they were losing. A minute later it was 2-2, 4 goals in the opening 10 minutes. Like, imagine if you'd gone for a shit and you just missed all the goals. Anyway, soon it was 3-2 to City, then 4-2. I mean, it just seemed inevitable at this stage. And then with 10 minutes of the game left, and then swinging corner smacks off Fernando Llorente's hand and ends up in the net. And then at the last minute, Eriksen plays a ball back to Aguero. I still don't know why. Sterling scores, it's disallowed, Spurs go through. Absolutely mental.
Let's go! Come on!
Thanks, Harry. And then, City fans lost their shit. I mean, at first it looked as though they were about to cream their pants due to the utter euphoria of a last minute winner. But just like when you sober up and realise that that woman you took home last night is actually a 45-year-old who smells of 6-week-old cheese, their stiffy quickly crumbled into nothing.
Oh my god, f***ing hell, yes! F***ing yes! Raheem, you absolute f***ing beauty! Amazing! I can't breathe!
Yeah, here's what I don't get about internet message boards. When you're watching the game and your team score a last minute winner, surely your first reaction is to jump around the room, kiss the dog, have a in the corner. I mean, what goes through your mind as soon as Sterling scores that goal in the 93rd minute? You go,
oh, my internet friends must be allergic to the fact that I can't breathe.
Lad, if you really can't breathe, call the hospital.
I am shaking. Please help. Yes.
And then
they're going to rule Aguero offside now. It's a fix. The game is bent. F*** you, Sterling.
Obviously that guy was watching on a stream that was about 5 minutes delayed.
UEFA def want us to get out.
And then things just got a bit weird.
F*** off, Genius. You're an absolute smug cunt.
Bit random to be taking all your frustration out on Jermaine Genius.
Oh my god, yes! Sterling, you beauty!
Yeah, that's another one on a delayed stream. Either that or it takes him about 6 hours to type out a comment.
Shit! Oh, corrupt f***ers! Disgraceful! F***ing shit! Done with football and its media for a while. Heartbreaking. Done with football.
Done with football. Like, literally, I get that it must have been painful. But have a bit of perspective, lads. You are not Barcelona, you're not Real Madrid. You are Man City. You know, the club that spent most of the last 40 years getting pissed on by the likes of Gillingham and Bolton Wanderers. You're now in a Champions League quarter-final, an FA Cup final, favourites to win your 4th Premier League title. You mean you've already won a trophy this season? About 10 years ago, I'm pretty sure you probably have sold your firstborn to even get a sniff of the League Cup.
How the f***ing Spurs celebrate? Do they not feel slightly embarrassed? That's me done with football. Games like this make me hate football. I f***ing hate VAR. Gonna change football forever. I bet they had big shit-eating grins in the VAR room when they realised they could rule offside.
It's almost like these fans are bemused that they're not being allowed to cheat.
I, for one, am not bothered and glad we're out of this shit competition.
Yeah, who bets that's a load of bollocks? I'm guessing this man had tears running down his cheeks whilst he was typing this comment.
Never going to a Champions League game again.
I mean, don't get this twisted, lads. You had Benjani up front 10 years ago. And then the fraud comments.
Pep, the absolute f***ing fraud. Spend and get slapped around by a proper coach. Never thought I'd be saying this, but Pep is a fraud. Pep Guardiola just can't conquer Europe without Barcelona. Catalan fraud. Guessing Pep will have to spend 250 million plus this summer then. Fraud. Good morning all. Quick reminder that Pep is a fraud. Pep managed to bottle this after all the easy draws. Fraud.
I've come to the conclusion that you are a grade A moron. Like, it just reminds me of this article.
Pep Guardiola will be seen as a Champions League failure. But is it fair?
A Champions League failure? Yeah, he's only won the competition twice before. The same that, you know, the greatest manager in British football managed in 20 odd years. But yeah, total failure. Like a fraud. Like, Guardiola has revolutionised not only Man City, English football. Yeah, he spent a lot of money, but he inherited a stale squad that was struggling to make top 4 under Pellegrini. I mean, even your goddamn national team is trying to emulate Pep. He's put together the best club side of all time and arguably the best Premier League side we've ever seen. But yeah, call him a fraud. Now, I get it, City fans are probably hurting, and I'm not trying to have a dig at you. I mean, many of you are no doubt on suicide watch for the week, but please, just have a bit of perspective. There are clubs out there with real problems. Liquidation, owners who drag them through the mud time and time again. Having Cyrus Christie in your team. I mean, actual problems, lads. You have literally been transformed into a giant of English football for no real good reason. You were essentially like a waitress at Costa Coffee who just happened to match with a sugar daddy on Tinder, and then within 10 years, said waitress is throwing a tantrum and threatening to leave after he accidentally scratched her golden purse. Have a bit of perspective, please. You could still win the quadruple this season. I mean, does the Community Shield count? Although, I still can't work out how Leroy Sané played just 7 minutes of football across both legs. This was the same man who got left out of the World Cup squad. Like, are these managers seeing something that I'm not? Because I think he's genuinely world class. So Man United came up against Barcelona and obviously got smashed. I'm sorry, but if you travel to the Camp Nou with Chris Smalling in your defence, if you put Ashley Young up against Lionel Messi, you are going to get ripped apart. It's literally like going to war armed with a f***ing compass. I mean, sure, getting a compass stabbed into your thigh during biology hurts like a bitch. So equivalently, yes, this team is well able to beat the likes of West Ham at home. But come up against a real team, you just get found out. I mean, there is so much work for Solskjaer to do, it's unreal. But is he even the right man for the job? Seriously, lads, since he's been permanently appointed, you've lost 5 out of 7 games. And if not for the width of a crossbar, it would have been 6. Yes, 2 of them were against Barcelona, but 2 of them were also against Wolves, a team who were playing Burton Albion last season. I mean, that is more like the Solskjaer form we all know and love from his time at Cardiff City. Like, literally, why have you given this man that job on a permanent basis? Yes, he had a nice little honeymoon period, but is that really enough to tie him down to a 3-year contract? I mean, Solskjaer's only real managerial experience is getting Cardiff relegated and a bunch of seasons out the back arse of Norway. We laughed at Man United for appointing David Moyes. I mean, rightly so, replacing Fergie with someone who hadn't so much as sniffed at a trophy was just insane. But at least Moyes was somewhat proven in the Premier League. While he was clearly allergic to trophies and signing a centre forward that wasn't Marcus Bent or James Beattie, he still knew what it took to win a few games in the top flight. Yes, he had a brilliant start as interim boss, but the players were probably just playing with freedom because they no longer had Jose Mourinho telling them what terrible human beings they were. For Christ's sake, you literally just dragged this fella in because he was an ex-player. If that's your only criteria, why didn't you just give the job to Stevie f***ing Bruce? At least he's managed to win a few games in the Premier League. And just to be clear, I'm not actually advocating that Bruce should have got the job. That would have been all kinds of mental. But still, I mean, look, Solskjaer might prove me wrong, but take away his playing career and judge him on solely his managerial stuff. And honest to God, lads, his CV doesn't look much better than Neil Lennon's. I bet you he's going to win the f***ing league next season. And that's just going to be the end of my career. Then again, what career? Alright, lads, I don't mean to have a go, but this is a nightmare scenario for Man United. If you told them 5 years ago they'd be struggling to make top 4, managed by a guy who'd just been relegated, and were now actively cheering on Man City to win the league, they'd have probably jumped in front of the first train to London. For Christ's sake, lads, the fact that you'd be reduced to cheering on Man City to win titles, that must be like getting into your bed with your cousin. Anyway, Barcelona will now play Liverpool in what is a mouth-watering Champions League semi-final. Coming up against a side who made a habit of poaching your best players, like, how sweet would it be for Liverpool if they actually managed to send Coutinho and Suarez packing? Oh, and of course I have to touch on Ajax. After watching them score 4 at the Bernabeu, Ronaldo must be laughing into his goddamn pasta. I mean, he's not laughing now. Winning 2-1 in Turin, what an unbelievable result for Ajax. For Christ's sake, Dusan Tadic has pretty much escaped a relegation battle, and he now might play in the Champions League final. I don't know who his agent is, but he deserves a f***ing knighthood. Anyway, that's the end of the video, lads. If you have enjoyed, don't forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.